Hi, and welcome to my channel, Laura's Library Card. So today it is actually already Tuesday, May 28th. Whew. Yesterday was Memorial Day, and I spent the day mostly just like relaxing and chilling and hanging out with Benjamin. And we grilled outside. The weather was actually quite nice. It was just a pretty chill Monday. I was updating my book journal. I'm still behind. I've read so much in May so far. I mean, it's the last like few days of May, and I have read 14 books in May. So I am probably a dozen or so books behind in my writing out reviews. So yeah, anyway, I worked on that a bit, and right at the end of the day, I did read the first about 40 pages or so of Space for Love by Antoinette. And yeah, so far it's perfectly fine. I don't really have much more to say about that. It's a good start, I guess. I am not really sure how I feel about the writing style. It's like so upbeat at the start. But yeah, I am intrigued by the premise, and I don't know, I was also like kind of falling asleep. So I really feel like I might have to back up and read the last like 10 pages, but like we haven't really gotten into the meat of it yet. So yes, I started that. Today at work, Tuesday, I went back to work like a normal day, and the day was very typical of a standard Tuesday. So I had a lot of time to be productive, and I was trying to be productive. And I only read a little bit more of Polaris Rising. I was listening to a bunch of booktube videos, booktubers, miscellaneous random stuff on YouTube because I'm on my work computer, so I can not worry about my algorithm. But I did get a little bit more into Polaris Rising. This is by Jessie, Mihalik. And I basically was at about 66% at the start of the day. I think I'm probably only like 75% or so now, and it's getting good. It's still very action-packed, very enjoyable, and yes, I definitely think I'll be able to finish that. If not tomorrow, then probably by the end of the week. For sure by the end of the week, probably tomorrow. But we shall see, because Wednesdays sometimes at work are like a long day of not having a chance to read. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. This evening was the official end of my D&D campaign. Last week was the big boss fight, big dramatic ending where they had to kill the sea witch, and today was sort of the after effects. They had to escape the sea witch's lair and get back to safety where they could claim their rewards. So it was good. It was very good to wrap things up, and we got to level up, and I'm going to pass the baton to the next person who is their turn to BDM and kind of like take over, and they get all the most of the stress. So hi. Okay, so it is Wednesday at 5:45. I am home from work. It is Wednesday, May 29th, and it is raining outside. It's looking kind of dreary, but it's lovely temperature, so I have doors and windows open and stuff. And yeah, my husband bought me a beautiful hanging basket. It is lush. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful purple petunias. So we'll see how long I can keep those alive. But yes, I have a little bit of a headache, but I think I'm just dehydrated, so I'm going to drink some water. And I wanted to tune in and let you know a reading update. Last night before bed, or like before I fell asleep, I backed up a little bit in Space for Love by Emily Antoinette. Which was good. It was a good thing that I backed up and reread like the last chunk, few pages, because it turns out that there's like one character who's using two different names, and I had not realized that that was the same character using two different names. So that's pretty important for the plot. At this point, I'm probably close to about 50%. Like I read a big chunk. I was just not getting sleepy before bed, and it's good. It is very similar to the synopsis. premise of this book is that our main character is Serafina. Main female character is Serafina. She is a human who has taken a job on this space station where there are not very many humans, and she's trying to like get out there and like live a braver life and like do cooler stuff. And she doesn't really know that many people here. She's really just kind of came out to this location because her best friend slash long-term pen pal is here. And the situation is such that she basically has met somebody through a simulation, through he has like a hologram up and stuff. People can go there for sexy simulations. That's not what she realized this place was, but she meets this guy there, and he is using a hologram because he feels like his species, his alien race, is like kind of scary to a lot of other aliens, and so they have a little bit of a connection there. And then it turns out that he actually is friends with the only other person that Serafina knows on this planet. So it had introduced himself as Brex in the simulation, but he is using a different name, like, which is like his maybe real name. I don't know. It's a little unclear. When he is introduced to Serafina by their mutual friend, and his basically like he falls hard and fast and is very interested in her, and she starts to develop feelings for both of them. So yeah, we shall see where this going. I don't feel like there was some thunder. Hopefully the camera picked that up. Earlier it was so loud it startled me, and of course I had just turned my camera off recording the outside rain noises. So anyway, so far the feelings and that like sort of emotional plot line is very typical of every other sort of anonymous, like this kind of same setup where it's like, oh, you're having a conversation and you don't know who the other person is. And in this situation, the guy, the main male character, knows who she is, and he knows he's like purposely deceiving her. And as he starts to get to know her, and as their relationship develops both emotionally as well as a little bit more intimately in the Sims, he starts feeling guilty about keeping the secret from her. So I am quite sure that is going to be the third act conflict. I mean, I could be wrong. This could still throw me for a loop, but it would not surprise me at all if that reveal of that like deception is basically the conflict that they have to get through later. But yeah, so I don't know if I would love to finish that today. Right now, I think I just want to like chill and enjoy the rain, and maybe play my video game for a little bit. I'm kind of stuck. I like basically beat the game, but also I'm only at like 72% complete. Like there's a whole huge chunk of the map that I've never explored, and I don't actually know how to like unlock it. So I don't know. I might try to play that. I might work on Space for Love. I'm at 82% or so of the audiobook of Polaris Rising. I listened to that today at work, and it's getting good. I think this is supposed to be a standalone. It's so far at the 80% mark, it really feels like it's setting up for like a sequel, as if the book is almost over. But so I'm kind of interested to see where it's going to go in this last chunk, and I'm going to double check whether or not it's part of a series. But yeah, I just wanted to check in and give you a reading update. Hi. Okay, so it might look the same to you, but it is Thursday afternoon. It is 5:15. Just got home from work recently and changed into my comfy loungewear. But I did not update you yesterday evening because the evening kind of got away from me. I was enjoying the rain. I played a little bit of Yoku's Island Express. Today is actually really gorgeous. It's not raining, so I have all the doors and windows open to take advantage of the beautiful 73 and sunny, but with the breeze that feels, and not humid. That's what's amazing about this weather. So sorry if you can hear some background noise, cars going by, dogs barking, etc. But yes, yesterday I played Yoku's Island Adventure, and then I did read a bit. I got a little bit further in Space for Love. I actually am not sure exactly how far I got. Probably turn it on and find out. Okay, I made it to 89%. Hello, Kitty. I made it to 89% yesterday in Space for Love. And my husband and I went to dinner together. We went and had some tasty Chinese food, and then we hit the store after that to pick up some necessities, cat food for this one. And yeah, so by the time I got home, put stuff away, and then putzed around, it was past my bedtime. So I did get to 89% of Space for Love. It is, I will say that that whole like reveal of the situation that of like, you know, whose identity is whom, etc. Happened earlier on in the book than I was kind of expecting. Like I was like when it happened, I was like, oh, this is the third act conflict, and then I was like, no, we're not to 75% yet, you know. So yeah, it's been kind of nice to work through that, and it does not feel like our main female character is just like forgiving him easy peasy, no problem. So yeah, there's kind of the right amount of grovel in my personal opinion, and working towards forgiveness in that kind of situation. I guess that's a little bit of a spoiler, so sorry. Yeah, otherwise, kind of a busy evening. Today at work was also busy at work, so I didn't get very much audio. I don't think I read my audiobook at all, actually. I think I was only listening to BookTube and YouTube and music and stuff. So, because I'm at 89% of this book, Kindle estimates that I can finish it in 22 minutes. So, I definitely am going to be able to finish that today. It seems like it's going to be sexy times here right at the end. And I will definitely be able to finish that today. So that will count as my 5-star prediction, I guess, as for my Galactic Readathon. Oh, you know what book came in from the library today? It's over there. I'm not going to go grab it. Plus, it has the name of my library like right across the front. A Psalm for the Wild Built, or whatever it's called. So perhaps I was thinking to myself, oh, it's only 150 pages. Like maybe I could start it tonight, finish it tomorrow, something like that. But there's no way for me to earn more points in the readathon. So I do want to read it. I just don't have to cram it in now. And honestly, I have a readathon coming up in June that our very first prompt for the Amazing Readathon should actually be dropping tomorrow on Friday, May 31st. So because A Psalm for the Wild Built is relatively short, I should keep it and have it as a potential for June. But this evening, I don't have plans. Well, I mean, I need to make a cake because it's one of my coworkers' birthdays tomorrow. So I'm going to make a cake for that. But otherwise, evening's pretty wide open. So I will, I got to get busy. Hi. Okay. So it is late Thursday evening. I've had a busy afternoon and evening. I did finish Space for Love by Emily Antoinette, and it was cute. It was good. Overall, I liked it. Had a nice time. I don't know, probably 4 stars. I sort of feel like it might not be super memorable in a long term, which is kind of terrible, but we'll see. If you like the trope of 2 people communicating where it's sort of like anonymous because one of them is, or both of them are, I mean, I guess she's always open about who she is, but he's hiding who he is. And then he does kind of keep it from her for like a good chunk of the book, more than half of the book. And is sort of lying to her about that. But if you're okay with that setup, if you're okay with that trope, then this was a good representation. And I felt like he did grovel enough at the end and had to earn forgiveness. And she didn't just immediately like have one conversation and immediately forgive him. So there was that. I felt like the sexy times were sexy and fun. This is the first book in a series, the Spire Station series. Took I'm not sure exactly how many books there are in this series quite yet. At the end of this book, there was a, I don't know, sneak peek or first chapter perhaps of the second book, which is the best friend of Seraphina. Seraphina's best friend was named Mesley, and she was very fun, very outgoing, very just like, let's party the whole time kind of character. And so I am intrigued to read her book. It looks like the second book is called Space for More, and it looks like it's a FFM alien romance, seduction, subterfuge, and second chances, no love triangles. Okay. Just published in February, so I might continue that someday. I don't know. I like the writing well enough. It was a fun time. There was that. I have one more day left in May. Tomorrow is the 31st, and I'm going to finish Polaris Rising at work. I have the audiobook, and then I can submit both Space for Love and Polaris Rising for the Galactic Readathon to get my points for my team. I think that's pretty much all of the points that I can get for my team. I was trying to look earlier and I forgot whether or not there are potentially more points that I could get. Basically the answer is no. I've done like 4 or 5 of the bonus prompts. The only ones I haven't done are like read a memoir or a poetry collection. This one says read a sci-fi subgenre that you don't normally pick up. Well, I don't really like read science fiction typically, and so I'm not really sure what that was supposed to be. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So that's probably it. And I also did not read a new adult fantasy that was released this month. So I don't know. Anyway, those are all the points I'm going to be able to get for Galactic Readathon. Also tomorrow, sometime during the day, the first prompt for the first leg of the readathon for the Amazing Readathon will drop, and I will be able to officially start planning. I've been seeing people fill up the Discord with journal spreads, and it's very inspiring and interesting and beautiful, and I have basically been kind of ignoring a lot of the chatter because I don't know, for me it's like, what's the point in theorizing or coming up with ideas for what the prompts of the each leg of the race are going to be? Like, there's no point in, we don't know what they are, so there's not a point in theorizing about it, in my personal opinion. So I've ignored all that. But there's also a whole bunch of sightseeing prompts, and there are 10 legs of the race, and so the goal is to finish all 10 legs, and you can only do sightseeing prompts once you've finished each individual leg. And I don't know, I'm not super confident that I'm going to be able to read quite that much. This month, the month of May, was kind of an anomaly for how much I read. I finished 9 books in January, 4 books in February, 5 books in March, 9 books in April, and then in May it's been sort of an anomaly. I've finished 15 so far, or and hopefully the 16th will be tomorrow. But a bunch of those were really short, were 200 pages or less. A bunch of those were left. All of the Ruby Dixon ones. I read the 4 Corsairs books, and all of those are under 200 pages. Some of them are only 130 or 140 pages. So I think that kind of artificially boosted my numbers. And so I think that trying to get all 10 of the city leg prompts for the Amazing Readathon will be a challenge for me. Do I think I can finish 10 books in a month? Maybe. There's been months I've done it. We shall see. So I basically haven't even looked at sightseeing stuff at all, because I figure if I have time, if I magically am ahead, then I will look at that and use that for inspiration to choose my books. But I don't want to get bogged down, and so I haven't really done almost any sort of planning or piles of possibilities or anything, just because I plan to mood read my way through the Amazing Readathon. But we get the first prompt tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. I will insert a picture of the cake that I baked this afternoon, which is for my coworker's birthday. It is a lemon miracle cake, and I cannot wait to dig into it tomorrow for birthday stuff. So yeah, but it is now getting late, so I'm going to head to bed, and yeah, that's my Thursday update. Hi, okay, so it is Friday, the last day of May. I'm home from work, and let's talk about it. So actually everything worked out superbly. I finished today Polaris Rising. This is the 15th book that I managed to finish in May. I know, who is she? I'm amazing. Not that it's about the numbers or anything, but this is like really good for me. And also, that is the last book that I needed to finish for Galactic-thon. So I'll be able to submit points for both of the book that I finished yesterday and today, and then I will have finished that readathon, and it is just in time to start the June readathon, and actually the first prompt for the Amazing Readathon drops today. I'll talk about that in a minute. Polaris Rising. A summary, I don't remember if I gave a summary for Polaris Rising, but basically this is a science fiction adventure romance title. It is the first in a series. It looks like there's going to be a trilogy, or maybe they're all three are already published, a little unclear. The premise for this book is that Ada is our main female character. This is a single point of view story. She is basically kind of like a princess or something of her rank. In this world, there are 3 high houses, and those are the 3 families that are sort of in charge of the government and politics, but also seem to be heavily involved in ruling over a lot of businesses. Doesn't really matter. Ada did not want to be part of a political arranged marriage and left, and has been kind of on the run for the last 2 years. And there is a bounty on her head that was put there by her father because he wants her back so that she can marry who he says she has to marry. The book opens with Ada having just been captured by some mercenaries because they want that bounty. And then when they put her in the holding cell of their ship, she meets someone else that they have already captured, and that is our main male character, Marcus Locke, who is this like super wanted bad guy criminal. The two of them are gonna have to team up to get off of the mercenary ship, and then it's a romance, and so the two of them start to have feelings for each other, and action and adventure and rescues and heists and whatever. There is a little bit more of a politics kind of side of things, political intrigue, because of who she is and how she's a member of one of these high houses. She's not set to inherit. She's like 5th out of 6 kids or something like that, but her intended is kind of set up to be an antagonist in this story. And yeah, it was very fun. It was very fast paced. It was very adventurous. It was very fun. It is kind of a breakneck speed at times, which kept me turning pages, but also it felt like there was a lot of plot kind of crammed in. I would have liked just a smidgen more time spent on some of the politics and world building and that kind of thing. I also would have preferred a little bit more time spent on the romance, because it feels a little bit like this is a speed kind of situation where they go through a whole bunch of stuff and don't have really great reasons for why they're in love with each other. Not that they really are like declaring that at the end of the book, but they're kind of declaring that at the end of the book, So yeah, overall it was good and enjoyable, and I liked the pacing. For me, it was not quite a 5-star. The main male character Marcus is supposed to be like he uses his surname all the time, Locke is like supposed to be this sort of like super amazing guy who's good at kind of everything and heals super fast, blah 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 blah. And yet I think there's 3 different times in this book that he has been captured and she has to kind of rescue him, or has been captured and he has to figure out how to get out of that situation. And I'm just kind of like, okay. But yeah, it definitely kept me kind of guessing, and there were some left turns throughout, including the end. So I'm glad that I finished it. I thought it was good. I thought it was like a 4 out of 5 situation. It was enjoyable. I liked the writing. I felt like the adventurous spirit of it was good. I want to kind of keep following these characters, so I don't know how I feel about the fact that they aren't the main characters centered in the next books, but I would continue. So overall, Polaris Rising was, a good read, and I would read more from this author and read more in this series. And that will finish up my May. Now, I did mention earlier that today is the last day of May, and the first leg of the Amazing Readathon, the first prompt, the first city, was revealed today. By the time you're going to see this, it's not going to be a secret anymore, and we're going to be well into June. But the first city is Toronto, and it seems like it's relatively cheap to fly there using the in-game currency, so I'm kind of like, But the prompt is to read a book that was gifted to you or not something that you have purchased. So you can't use a subscription service, but you definitely can use your library or a book that was gifted to you, blah, 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 blah. This is Laura's library card. I always have things available from my library, so I was like, easy peasy, no problem. So that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. I don't have any plans for the next couple of days. Today is Friday. Yes, I don't have any plans this evening or Saturday or Sunday. It's just weekend is wide open. So I intend to read a bunch. Yes, that's my plan for Friday evening, is to relax and not read anything else in May, but do a lot of planning for June. So I will maybe tune back in later tonight with some of my decisions. Hi. Okay, it is Saturday, not long after lunch. My husband and I went and tried out a new Italian restaurant near us, which was good. It was very like solid, very like mid. So I don't know. We would go back. I feel like it was like a little expensive. Portion sizes were big, but like I don't know. It was fine. It was perfectly good. I did have a delicious cannoli for dessert, which was a nice bonus. It was a nice bonus. So yes, now I'm home. He's going to be headed off to work soon, and I will have an opportunity to dive into some reading. Today is the first full official day of, it's June 1st, of the Amazing Readathon, and I had a moment, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to read, and then I kind of hemmed and hawed and decided on something else, and I've changed my mind like 4 times, but I think the book that I'm going to start with is The No Girlfriend Rule. This is by Christen Randall, and I actually met this author at an event last summer. Was that last summer? I think it was last summer. And this was only published this year. And so she had just gotten like deals and had just gotten the cover art, and she was really fun and really cool. And I followed her account on Instagram. So it is a young adult book, but I think it's a young adult romance, and it has to do with D&D. So I'm kind of excited about it. And that's, I think, what I'm going to start with. And because it's a library book, it fits the first prompt. So I will try to tune in a little bit later with some of my thoughts and feelings at the start of this. Hello. I am cooking dinner for Ben and I. I'm going to be making chicken tikka masala, which is an Indian dish. But in this case, I am just using the tikka masala sauce from the grocery store, straight out of a jar. So, you know, fun times. And I'm putting that over rice. It is super easy. You cook the chicken, cook the rice, pour the sauce in over the chicken, let it simmer a smidge, and then pour the sauced chicken over your rice. It is easy enough to be one of our go-to meals. So, I am tuning in partly because I have a moment while I'm cooking dinner, and partly because I am halfway through the No Girlfriend Rule. It is reading very easily, very quick, very fun. The vibes are vibing. So let me tell you a little bit about what it's about. So the No Girlfriend Rule follows our main female character of Hollis. Oh, hold on. The rice is boiling. Okay, I'm back. We're following our main female character of Hollis. She is starting her senior year of high school, and her friend group is her boyfriend and 2 other guys. The 3 of them play a game that is essentially Dungeons and Dragons, but in this universe is called Secrets and Sorcery. And the boys have a no girlfriend rule. And so even though Hollis has been wanting to learn how to play and wants to be involved in their little group, she is not allowed because of this no girlfriend rule. So at the start of the book, she is determined, because it is the start of their senior year, and this is something that she wants to tie everybody together, and she thinks if she can learn how to play the game and be accepted into the group, then when she thinks their group will continue, even if even after graduation, she will still be a part of it. She tries out a local game at her local game store, and it is not a good fit for her, and there's kind of a creeper there, and so she does see a flyer there at the game store advertising another group, and so she takes the tab off the flyer and is kind of like, I'm going to give this one more shot. And it turns out that this other group is the flyer advertises it as like a girl-friendly, LGBT-friendly, heavy role-play group. So Hollis has a lot of anxiety about kind of everything. She's on anxiety medication. It's good mental health representation there. But she has a lot of anxiety about both learning how to play this game and doing it in a way that hopefully her friends will accept her into their game, and also because it's new people and new setting and everything. But over the course of the book so far, she has been making good connections with these other friends, these new friends who, it is an all-female group. And it's just a fun group of ladies who are kind of all really respectful of each other, and sometimes the way that they are kind of handling the game, she is sort of surprised about based on things that she's heard her guy friends talk about in the game. And there's even one of the guys in that group who's the DM of the guys. He's like really, I don't know, he's constantly putting down the things that she says about her friends, and he's a jerk. He sucks. And Hollis is kind of just realizing that, or not just realizing that, but she is realizing it more and more over the course of the book, exactly how much she doesn't like this Landon guy. So it is really good so far. I feel like a little bit like I don't want to say there's like no stakes or no tension, but like there's kind of not quite yet. There is starting to be a little bit of tension between her and her boyfriend, one of these three guys in this male group. And there is starting to be sort of funny, flirty feelings with one of the girls in the group. So I can see where the book is going, but like, it's a good thing that I already really like to play Dungeons & Dragons in real life, because I feel like if you were a reader who didn't play D&D, I don't think that you'd be lost per se. I think there's been enough good explanation of things, but I think that if you are not already into role-playing games, then this is probably not the book for you, because it's just been a lot of description about the game that they're playing. But I love, love, love how the author is having Hollis discover more of her own personal feelings and ideas and thoughts and emotions, getting into touch with that side of herself using her character, and kind of having an opportunity to explore herself as well as some of the other characters in the D&D SNS group are using the game as opportunities to kind of figure out who they are. Like, I love that. I love the journey that Hollis is on. But yeah, so far it's good. It's reading fast. I would love to knock out my first book of the readathon on June 1st, but we shall see how the evening goes. Hi. Okay, so last clip of the vlog. It is Sunday, June 2nd, and I am here to wrap up the vlog, wrap up the week. Got to get this edited and uploaded so that I can get it to you guys. But wanted to let you know that last night on the first day of June, I finished my first book of June. Woot! I am very pleased to report that I have finished The No Girlfriend Rule by Christen Randall. I thought that this was cute overall. I enjoyed the story. This definitely is not so much a plot-driven story. I found the plot that was present to be a little predictable, but it definitely is a character-driven story. We follow Hollis as she is going through a period of change, a period of coming of age, a period of her own self-discovery of who she is, what her interests are, what it means to have quality friendships, who are the people who accept her for who she really is, what does it mean to be who Hollis really is. And there is some exploration there of of self-identity and queerness and friendships, and there is a, easy, sweet, sapphic romance by the end, and it was great. It was great. I especially appreciated the increasing portrayal on page of the game that Hollis is playing of sorcery and secrets and sorcery, and that was really fun to kind of balance out the sort of more adventurous side of things. So yeah, the no girlfriend rule was a treat, and even though this isn't really a age demographic that super appeals to me anymore, I thought Hollis's story was great. I loved how she was questioning who she was and sort of what she brought to the table within her friendships and within her relationships. So I loved some of that, and it was beautiful. I loved the story. It was great. Ultimately, because this was the first book that I finished for the Amazing Readathon, it did satisfy the prompt of reading a book that I did not purchase myself. This was a copy that I got from the library. And so points wise, ultimately this book counted for 336 points because there were 336 pages. And then I got an additional 50 bonus points because this was a romance, and that is the genre of teen romance. And then I also got an additional 50 points for reading a book written by a LGBT queer author in Pride Month. So that was a total of 436 points for my very first book. I did choose the middle travel option for spending my currency, so that did not affect my total points for the book. So that was great. I finished it basically in bed right before I fell asleep last night, and I was very proud to finish my first book on the 1st of June. And to balance that out, I've done almost no reading today. Today on Sunday, I've been working throughout the day to update my book journal and to relax and take it easy, and hung out with Ben. And then also, as I've been editing, this video and stuff, there was a surprise notice for a detour challenge posted in the Amazing Readathon. So this is an opportunity to earn more points for your team without necessarily having them to be reading points. So this was the first leg of the race is Toronto, and so the detour was to the Toronto Zoo, and the prompt was to take a picture with your current read and your pet. So I'll put a picture here of my adorable cat Phoebe, and I woke her up by putting my book right there next to her, but she's adorable, and I was able to earn an extra 200 points for completing this detour and posting this picture on my Instagram. So I have had a productive Sunday somewhat. There's definitely a lot that I've gotten done, and it's definitely still a lot that I would have liked to have gotten done, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and tease this upcoming week's vlog. I have not very many plans in the evenings, so don't expect any B-roll. Not that there's been any last week or this week, but I have most of my evenings are pretty free right now, except for Tuesday night D&D. And therefore I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to get a bunch of reading done. And I have, I think, at least 4 audiobooks checked out from the library that I'm hoping to listen to this week during work, is when I kind of listen to most of my audiobooks. So not gonna tease, but I have a wide variety of options to choose from for next week, and I am looking forward to whenever the Amazing Readathon prompt is going to drop, so that I can continue on a good streak. I did post in that picture Pucking Wild as my currently reading, even though I haven't technically started yet, but I do intend to start it before I go to bed tonight. So that will be one of my currently reading books, but I also have a few things checked out on Kindle Unlimited or from the library that are potential sightseeing options that may be converted to legs of the race, depending on what those prompts are. So thank you so much for following along with me this week. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever had tikka masala chicken or any other dish. I think that sometimes it's a vegetarian dish. And let me know if there's a go-to easy meal that you guys prep or that you prep in your life. I'm always looking for fun and easy recipes. So thanks so much for following along this week, and stay tuned for next week. Bye.